Good afternoon, Year 4s, and welcome to Thursday's maths lesson. So we're doing maths in the afternoon on a Thursday because remember that you've got PE in the morning on Thursdays. So Thursday afternoons are when we do maths lessons. So today's maths lesson is all about multiplying using known facts. So you need to multiply by 10 and 100. I can use my knowledge of times tables to help me multiply bigger numbers. And I can explain what happens to a number when it is multiplied. So if you want to pause the video and write the date and learning objective, you can do that now. Okay, and this is today's starter, which is multiplying three numbers, which we have done before. And just to remind you, remember to do it the most effective way. So the way that it's going to work for you is what you need to decide which two numbers you're going to multiply first. So pause the video and have a go at those. Okay, so the answers I'm going to go through with you. So remember, just because I multiply two numbers first, it doesn't mean that that's the easiest way for you. But we do know that when we multiply in any order, we're going to get the same answer. So for this one, I would have done 2 times 5 first, which is 10, and then 10 times 3 would be 30. For this one, I would have done 2 times 4 first as well, which is 8, and then 8 times 3 is 24. Okay, this one I can see that there's a 1, and we know that anything times 1 is itself. So I would have done these two first. So 4 times 10 is 40, and then 40 times 1 would also be 40. Okay, then number 4, I would have done 3 times 2 first, which is 6, and then 6 times 6 is 36. And then for this one, I wouldn't have done 2 times 8 first, because that's 16, and 16 multiplied by 4 is quite tricky to work out mentally in your head. So I would have done 8 times 4 first, which would be 32, and then 32 times 2 is 64. Okay, perfect. So let's move on to our question today. So the question is, I ate 10 mice on Monday. By Sunday, I had eaten 7 times as many mice than I did on Monday. How many mice had I eaten from Monday to Sunday? And then how do you know that? So pause the video and write down your answer and how you know that. Okay, so I would have looked at the two numbers that were given. So we were given the number 10 and we were given the number 7. And we know that he's eaten 7 times. So this word times is a big clue that we have to multiply these two numbers together. So 10 times 7 is 70. Therefore, he had eaten 70 mice. Okay, perfect. All right, so let's go on to the first lot of questions. So we have done this before, so we're just revising it. So in today's math lesson, we're just revising multiplying numbers and using our known facts to help us work out the answer. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to do them first before I go through them with you, because it is something that we have done before. So the first one is multiplying by 1, 10, and 100. So pause the video, have a go at those, and then I'll go through them with you afterwards. Okay, perfect. So we know that 4 times 1 is 4. Most of you know that it's the 1 times table. We know that anything multiplied by 1 is itself. So because we know that, we could work out 4 times 10, which is 40. Therefore, we could work out 4 times 100, which is 400. And like we've said before, there's a pattern that happens. So each time you're multiplying by a bigger number, the answer is also getting bigger. Okay, and the same for this side. 3 times 1 is 3. Therefore, 3 times 10 is 30, and 3 times 100 is 300. So we need to know that if we're doing 3 times 10, this number 3 is getting 10 times bigger, which is 30. And if we're timesing 3 times 100, this 3 is getting 100 times bigger, which would be 300. Okay, so this is also using known facts. So I'm going to give you a chance to do these by yourself, and then I will go through them with you. So pause the video and have a go at those. Okay, perfect. So when I say known facts, if you had to get this as a question and only 4 times 50, you can say to yourself that you know for a fact that 4 times 5 is 20. Therefore, 4 times 50 is going to be 200. Okay, the same with this one. If you got 2 times 60 and you didn't know what that was, you can say, okay, I know that 2 times 6 is 12. Therefore, 2 times 60 will be 120. The same goes for this one. If you got just 3 times 30 and you did not know what that was, you could say to yourself that you know 3 times 3 is 9. Therefore, 3 times 30 is 90. So you're using the facts of the smaller multiplications that we've learned to work out the bigger multiplication numbers. That's why it's really important to know your multiplication. Okay, so sometimes we'll multiply two two-digit numbers together. So before, we always had a 2-digit number, so 50 times by a 1-digit, 4. Whereas now we've got two two-digit numbers. So we've got 30 and 30, and 40 and 20. And again, if you got that and you did not know how to work that out, you could say that you know that 3 times 3 is 9. Therefore, 30 times 30 will be 900. And a big clue is that because there are 2 zeros in your question, there's going to be 2 zeros in your answer. And same with this one. We know that 4 times 2 is 8. Therefore, 40 times 20 will be 800. Okay. So today, everyone will work through the same questions. They are going to be important for the lessons tomorrow and next week. There won't be a bronze, silver, or gold challenge this week. There will just be the same questions, so everybody is ready for tomorrow and next week's lesson. So you can pause the video, write these down in your books, and then the answers will be on the next slide. So please don't go ahead because it is important that we know these and you know them well. So pause the video and have fun. Okay, perfect. Right, so here are your answers. So please mark them. And if you didn't get all of them correct, that is okay. Just make sure that if you didn't get 1 or 2 wrong, that you know where you went wrong and why you've made that mistake. Okay, so to end off today's lesson, because sometimes we do this in the afternoons for maths, we sometimes do times tables tests or arithmetic tests. So I've given you an arithmetic test to do today. So you're going to have to pause the video to do your questions and then pause for the next few questions. So normally I give you the amount of time of how many questions there are. So this test is 9 questions. So time yourself for 9 minutes and see if you can do these in 9 minutes. So we've got number 1, 2, and 3 on this page, and then 4 and 5, 6 and 7, 8 and 9. You're going to have to go back to question 1, pause the video, and then keep on going until you get to number 9. So you can do that now. Okay, perfect. Well done. So the last one is the answers. So go through those. And just remember, number 2 was a negative number, which we did last term. We did negative numbers. So if you had forgotten that we did negative numbers, that was why it was negative 2. Okay, well done, year fours, for completing Thursday's maths. I will speak to you tomorrow for Friday. Have a good afternoon. Bye.